Hari Om. Greetings on Vasant Panchami from Sandeepany Sadhanalaya, Mumbai. As we spring forth into the second year of the 18th Vedanta Course, how apt it is that nature springs forth into spring. We receive the course Acharya Pujya Gurudev Swami Tejomayananda with the traditional Purna Kumbha representing the completeness and fullness of knowledge.
तत्त्वमानशो परेण नाकं निहितं गुहायां विभ्राजते तद्यतयो विशन्ति वेदान्तविज्ञानसुनिश्चितार्थाः सन्न्यासयोगा यतयः शुद्धसत्त्वाः ते ब्रह्मलोके तु परान्तकाले परामृतात् परिमुच्यन्ति सर्वे दह्रं विपापं परमेश्वभूतं यत्पुण्डरीकं पुरमध्यसगस्तं तत्रापि दह्रं गगनं विशोकस्तस्मिन् यदन्तस्तदुपासितव्यं यो वेदादौ स्वरः प्रोक्तो वेदान्ते च प्रतिष्ठितः तस्य प्रकृतिलीनस्य यः परः स महेश्वरः.
Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha, Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. With pranams to Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda, Pujya Guruji, Pujya Swami Swaroopananda, and all sannyasis present here and online, and with respectful greetings to all sadhaks, I invite Brahmacharini Shatrupa of London to offer the invocation prayer to Mother Saraswati Devi. This prayer is a composition by our Pujya Guruji, Swami Tejomayananda. May the Divine Mother bless us all with spiritual knowledge and wisdom.
Hari Om. Shri Sharade Visharade Varade Devi 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 Shri Sharade. Para Pashyanti Madhyama Vaikhari, Para Pashyanti Madhyama Vaikhari, Rupa Sundrate Shri Sharade. Para Pashyanti Madhyama Vaikhari, Rupa Sundrate Shri Sharade. Visharade Varade Devi Shri Sharade. Tava Ashisha Labhate Jnanam, Tava Ashisha Labhate Jnanam, Tava Ashisha Labhate Jnanam स्वरूपात्मिके श्री शारदे तव आशीषा लभते ज्ञानं स्वरूपात्मिके श्री शारदे विशारदे वरदे देवी श्री शारदे वस मे हृदि मनसि वाचि 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 मधुरामृते श्री शारदे वस मे हृदि मनसि वाचि मधुरामृते श्री शारदे विशारदे वरदे देवी श्री शारदे विशारदे वरदे देवी श्री शारदे श्री शारदे श्री शारदे वरदे.
Thank you, Brahmacharni Shatrupa, for that most melodious and uplifting start to the program. First and foremost, I would like to offer my pranams to Lord Shiva, our presiding Jagdishwar Bhagwan, the Adi Guru, who resides with us constantly, blessing and gracing all of us here in Sandeepany Sadhanalaya. On behalf of Tara Cultural Trust, and of course particularly our trustee CEO, Sri Kirti Bhai Bhima, Central Chinmaya Mission Trust, Chinmaya Seva Trust Mumbai, I would warmly like to welcome each and everyone present here and watching us online. At the outset, our very special gratitude to all the co-sponsors, to the Rishi Putra Scheme donors and supporters who have so lovingly offered and supported this 18th batch of the Vedanta Course. Sandeepany Sadhanalaya. This was Pujya Gurudev's Sankalpa, which saw its fulfillment in January 1963. Srimati Tara Swaroop, who heard Pujya Gurudev in Mumbai, was inspired and donated this land where we have this unique institute. Thus was born this oasis of peace, a deep green haven in the bustling city of Mumbai. Chinmaya Mission's Vedantic Learning and Spiritual Training Academy. Beloved Tara Amma will never be forgotten for this precious gift which she has given to all of us. Not only Chinmaya Mission, but the entire nation, and indeed the world has gained from this unique gift of dear Amma. This Sandeepany Sadhanalaya stands for the revival of spiritual wisdom and knowledge and our rich, deep spiritual culture. We offer our deep appreciation and gratitude to Amma, who just a few days back merged with the lotus feet of Pujya Gurudev at the ripe age of 101 years. Tara Amma was the managing trustee of Tara Cultural Trust right to the end. Our pranams and gratitude to dear Amma. Now, it feels wonderful today to be thanking and celebrating the year which has gone by and invoking the grace and blessings of Pujya Gurudev for the second year of this Vedanta course. When we hear the word Sandeepany, Chinmaya Mission members worldwide, what do we feel? We associate it as being a learning seat for spiritual knowledge. We also revere it as a place where spiritual wisdom is imparted, and there is a spiritual metamorphosis of all individuals who walk through these gates of this unique institute. We also have a great sense of feeling of devotion and gratitude as we remember the perfect master, our Pujya Gurudev, who established this unique institute. Pujya Gurudev wanted Sandeepany Sadhanalaya to be a beacon of knowledge, an undisturbed hermitage of truth. In his own words to students, he said, "Be yourself a Sandeepany and light the knowledge of truth in the hearts of one and all." In order to express our gratitude, devotion, and respect to Pujya Gurudev, we now invite Pujya Guruji to offer archana with flowers to Pujya Gurudev's padukas. Pujya Guruji.
Om Ajaya Namaha, Om Avyayaya Namaha, Om Avinashine Namaha, Om Achintyaya Namaha, Om Aprameyaya Namaha, Om Advitiyaya Namaha, Om Aniketaya Namaha, Om Anushasanapriyaya Namaha, Om Antasakshine Namaha, Om Antaryamine Namaha, Om Anandaya Namaha, Om Atmaswarupaya Namaha, Om Anglabhasha Viduttamaya Namaha, Om Ishwaraya Namaha, Om Udara Hridayaya Namaha, Om Utsahavardhakaya Namaha, Om Ekasmai Namaha, Om Omkaravide Namaha, Om Karunasagaraya Namaha, Om Karmaparayana Namaha, Om Kalatitaya Namaha, Om Kaivalyaswarupaya Namaha, Om Kritatmane Namaha, Om Kritakrityaya Namaha, Om Gita Jnana Yajna Pracharakaya Namaha, Om Gurave Namaha, Om Gunatitaya Namaha, Om Granthakrite Namaha, Om Chinmayaya Namaha, Om Chinna Samshayaya Namaha, Om Jagadatmane Namaha, Om Jagat Sakshine Namaha, Om Janapriyaya Namaha, Om Jitendriyaya Namaha, Om Jiva Brahmaikya Vide Namaha, Om Jivan Muktaya Namaha, Om Jirna Mandirodharakaya Namaha, Om Tapovana Sishyaya Namaha, Om Tapasvine Namaha, Om Tapanashanaya Namaha, Om Tirthaswarupaya Namaha, Om Tejasvine Namaha, Om Dehatitaya Namaha, Om Dvandvatitaya Namaha, Om Dridhanishchayaya Namaha, Om Dharma Samsthapakaya Namaha, Om Dhimate Namaha, Om Dhiraya Namaha, Om Dhairyapradaya Namaha, Om Narayanaya Namaha, Om Nijanandaya Namaha, Om Nirapekshaya Namaha, Om Nisprihaya Namaha, Om Nirupamaya Namaha, Om Nirvikalpaya Namaha, Om Nityaya Namaha, Om Niranjanaya Namaha, Om Paramaya Namaha, Om Parabrahmane Namaha, Om Pavanaya Namaha, Om Pavakaya Namaha, Om Purushottamaya Namaha, Om Prasannatmane Namaha, Om Phalasaktirahitaya Namaha, Om Bahubhaktaya Namaha, Om Bandhamochakaya Namaha, Om Brahmanisthaya Namaha, Om Brahmaparaya Namaha, Om Bhayanashanaya Namaha, Om Bharata Gauravaya Namaha, ॐ भूम्ने नमः ॐ महावाक्योपदेशकाय नमः ॐ महर्षये नमः ॐ मधुरस्वभावाय नमः ॐ मनोहराय नमः ॐ महात्मने नमः ॐ मेधाविने नमः ॐ यतात्मने नमः ॐ यज्ञकृते नमः ॐ लोकप्रसिद्धाय नमः ॐ वाग्मिने नमः ॐ विभवे नमः ॐ विनोदप्रियाय नमः ॐ विनयशीलाय नमः ॐ वीतरागाय नमः ॐ वेदान्तवेद्याय नमः ॐ शान्ताय नमः ॐ शान्तिप्रदाय नमः ॐ शास्त्रोद्धारकाय नमः ॐ शुद्धसत्त्वाय नमः ॐ श्रुतिपारगाय नमः ॐ श्रोत्रियाय नमः ॐ सन्न्यासिने नमः ॐ समबुद्धये नमः ॐ सच्चिदानन्दाय नमः ॐ सर्वहितचिन्तकाय नमः ॐ सत्यसङ्कल्पाय नमः ॐ सन्तुष्टाय नमः ॐ साधवे नमः ॐ सुमनसे नमः ॐ सुहृदे नमः ॐ स्वयंज्योतिषे नमः ॐ स्थितप्रज्ञाय नमः ॐ क्षमाशीलाय नमः ॐ ज्ञानमूर्तये नमः ॐ ज्ञानयोगिने नमः ॐ ज्ञानतृप्ताय नमः ॐ नित्यशुद्धबुद्धमुक्तस्वरूपाय नमः ॐ नित्यशुद्धबुद्धमुक्तस्वरूपाय नमः ॐ नित्यशुद्धबुद्धमुक्तस्वरूपाय नमः ॐ श्रीचिन्मयसद्गुरवे नमः। श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की
Thank you, Pujya Guruji. An interesting tidbit about how Sandeepany Sadhanalaya got its name. Pujya Gurudev took inspiration from Maharishi Sandeepany, who headed a holy university, a unique Gurukul, where spiritual knowledge, scriptural learning, and all aspects of teaching were taught to students for approximately 10 years, even martial arts. Maharishi Sandeepany's most famous disciple was Bhagavan Shri Krishna. This same Rishi spirit and Rishi culture, which has been flowing down the ages, is continuing to this day, and we have our Sandeepany Sadhanalaya so many millennia later. We are now very blessed to hear from Pujya Swami Swaroopananda, the global head of Chinmaya Mission, with his special address on this special day. Pujya Swamiji is himself a graduate of the Vedanta Course taught by Pujya Guruji, namely the 5th batch of the Vedanta Course. Now over to Pujya Swamiji.
Om Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram. My pranams to Guruji and greetings to all the Vidyarthis at Sandeepany Sadhanalaya. This year has passed very quickly, and as most of you must have experienced, when you are in peace, when you are in bliss, when you are learning about your own self, time just passes so quickly. You wish it would stop. We all did wish that it would stop. But the beauty is that this peace that comes from this knowledge of Vedanta remains with us wherever we go. Also, while you are studying, after 1 year of studies, it may come to your mind that I think I know it all now. And yet each text that unfolds brings up the same truth in a very unique manner, where the clarity in our own mind takes place, which may have not taken place in the previous text also. And therefore, this whole range of studies, at the same time, we will recognize that Vedanta is not a theory, but it is a methodology by which the Guru reveals, and a methodology by which we should inquire and come to directly realize the truth. After having understood the idea of the scriptures properly and determined what is the nature of the truth, the reality, the identity between Jiva and Brahma, when we begin that self-inquiry, it's very important to recognize, and especially when you have a teacher like Guruji, how that matter, that subject is unfolded. It is not only unfolded for teaching, but the most important thing is how it unfolds our mind. And to be able to grasp that when you are listening is the very important thing. And now, even though you might think that, as I said, that now we pretty much have heard most of the Upanishads, we know what the theme is. Observe and follow the methodology by which it is being communicated to you, the methodology with which the scriptures and the Guru is revealing, and it is the same method we need to inquire. Also, it does happen that there are from inside us, when the churning of the ocean takes place, not only at first some beautiful things arise, but soon after, even certain own discoveries of ourselves, the negativities, etc., and then we might even see it around us. Do not get perturbed by it. Remember that this too shall pass away. When we hold on to the feet of the Lord, we hold on to the feet of Gurudev, all this will pass away. Even the disgust that sometimes comes when we see these upheavals taking place. Do not ever despair. It is part of the process in our own mind and even in the world around us. Full of Shraddha, Bhakti, faith and devotion. Remain consistent, and that which we seek, we shall find. Wish you all the best and see you soon when I come back. Meanwhile, keep reveling, keep learning, keep meditating. Hari Om.
Pranams, and thank you, Pujya Swamiji, for this most inspiring and apt message. I now welcome 4 students from this present 18th batch to share their learnings. First is Brahmacharni Ashraya from Melbourne, Australia, who will share her impressions and learnings from the first year of this Vedanta course.
Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Hari Om. Pranams to Pujya Guruji, Pujya Swamiji, and Hari Om to you all. Before joining the Vedanta course, I had spoken to a few Swamins and Brahmacharins who all said one thing in common, that the next 2 years will by far be the best 2 years of your life, and you will never get it again, so make the most of it. Being 1 year into the course now, I can definitely see the truth of this, and I'm sure I speak on behalf of everyone when I say that there is really no other place that we would rather be. Pujya Guruji has always told us that this study of Vedanta is not a mere academic pursuit, but rather we have to be what we are studying. Prior to the course, my understanding was that through the study of Vedanta, the purpose of life will become more clear. However, not only has this happened, but in fact, the very foundations upon which we built our understanding of life, the world, God, and ourselves is being molded and shaped in so many different ways, many of which may be unknown to us right now. In fact, through the study of Vedanta, there is an entire shift in thinking, since one of the fundamental teachings is that the key to our happiness remains with us, since it is our mind alone which is the cause of the ups and downs that we face. Now, prior to the course, when I heard such statements, my first reaction would have been, okay, so I'm the problem. Well, great. But in light of everything that we have learnt from Pujya Guruji, now this knowledge is empowering, because it means that we can never be a victim of circumstances. And I personally think that this is just one of the many things that makes Vedanta so beautiful, which is that unlike any other science of life, we are given the full authority and the responsibility over our happiness. Our Shastras also constantly remind us and tell us that this human life is so very rare and precious. And not only that, but to be able to pursue this study of Vedanta in such an environment is even more rare. Even now, there are times when I have to pinch myself to confirm that actually, yes, this is happening. We are studying Vedanta under Pujya Guruji in Sandeepany Sadhanalaya, the very heart of Pujya Gurudev. So as we are celebrating this 1 year milestone today, I am filled with gratitude. Gratitude and reverence to our Guru Parampara, without whom we wouldn't have the ability to learn this knowledge, and because of whom we are able to walk this path more easily, because they are literally holding us at every step. And of course, gratitude to our parents for supporting us on this journey, and gratitude to all of those through whom Bhagavan constantly provides for us. So on this occasion, I pray that we may always be aware of Bhagavan's and Guru's grace and blessings that are constantly flowing and constantly showering upon us, and that we may come to live this glorious knowledge by being what we are studying. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Thank you, Brahmacharya Ashraya, for that most moving sharing, learning. I now invite Brahmacharya Rojisha of Coimbatore to share her learnings.
Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Hari Om. My humble prostrations to lotus feet of Gurudev, Pujya Guruji and Pujya Swamiji, and pranams to everyone present here. First of all, I would like to congratulate all my brothers and sisters for successfully completing the first year of Vedanta course. I know the term success is very relative, but being here as a Vedanta student in Sandeepany Sadhanalaya, which produced many more great spiritual leaders, itself is a great spiritual sadhana. In that way, we are successful. I recall the online interview conducted by Pujya Guruji for the Vedanta course. One of the questions he asked was, why do you want to do this Vedanta course? And my answer was, I want to be a prajarak of Hinduism. For that, I want to know in detail about it. Because I always had a firm faith that if a culture can sustain thousands of years, then it should be preserved. But in other hand, to conflict to it, I also had a thought like, just because it's ancient, do we need to hold on to it? Because if the Hinduism does not have anything to contribute our nation and people, there is no point in holding on to it. So this was my quest to join Vedanta Course. Today, completing 1 year of Vedanta Course, I am standing here with a firm conviction that Hinduism have a great message to pass on, not only to our nation, to the whole world. As our Gurudev says, love is the basis of Hinduism. If you know how to love, then you are a great Hindu. Vedanta, the core philosophy of our Sanatana Dharma, proclaims to realize our own true self, which will enable us to see our own true self in every living being, and that will facilitate a harmonious existence in the world. That is what today's world requires. When I say firm conviction, it is not just developed out of spiritual studies over here alone. If we say language of Vedanta is love, then especially we 18th batch, blessed with Master of Vedanta, Master of Love as our Guru, our Acharya. This is not just an exaggerating statement for this ceremony. From our day one in ashram to till today, Guruji have not shown a little bit of anger even by a glance. Even I used to scream myself like, Guruji, please shout on us. We don't deserve this much love. And I also used to feel like Guruji is being too liberal to us. Is it okay? Is it will work? Such a question used to arise in me. But in due course, I realized Guruji don't want to create any superficial change in us by enforcing anything on us. What he expects is an internal transformation by our own true understanding. Because if the transformation happened within us by our own true understanding, then after this 2 years, wherever we go, whatever field we work, whichever stage of our life we be, we will not deviate from the spiritual discipline and righteousness of our life. For that, what Guruji does is creating an atmosphere flooded with unconditional love to learn, to reflect, and to transform. And I believe, knowingly and unknowingly, that transformation happening in us. In short, to describe this 1 year is full of love, love, and happiness, happiness, and only happiness. Our gratitude towards our Gurudev, Guruji, and the entire Chinmaya mission family could not be expressed in mere words. My humble prayer is, make us a fine-tuned instrument in the hands of Gurudev with the blessings of and guidance of Guruji to take forward Gurudev's mission. So let us together spread maximum happiness to maximum people and maximum point of time. Thank you, Hari Om, and Jai Hind.
Thank you, Rojisha, for this most inspiring and moving message. Now I would like to request Brahmachari Shaunak to share his learnings and experiences, and he is from Atlanta, USA.
Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha Shri Guru Parampara Bhyo Namaha Hari Om. I echo everything that Brahmacharini Ashreya and Rojisha have said. Guruji has strictly instructed us not to discuss what we will be saying, but I think it's the Guruji effect that all our thinking has been fine-tuned. I remember coming to Bombay for my vacation in my 6th or 7th grade, and my mother brought me to Sandeepany Sadhanalaya, which I was very reluctant to do. And not only did we do darshan, but also after that she brought me into Pujya Guruji's Vedanta class, which I was very uncomfortable and reluctant to sit in because I didn't even know if she had asked Guruji for permission or not. But anyhow, we sat, and then I remember Guruji walking in, and he just smiled and gently said that something along the lines of that I don't think he's ready yet, or he might not be able to take it. I was very happy that day, and before Guruji would change his mind, I quickly tiptoed outside the class. Little did I know that Guruji had already made up his mind to call me here 15 years later. So I seek Pujya Guruji's blessings, and it's quite evident and clear to me that it's Pujya Guruji's sankalp that has brought me here today. Also, I seek the blessings of Pujya Swami Swaroopananda and Swamini Amma Vimlananji, both of whom have played a very important role in my upbringing, and without whom I would not be here today. And lastly, my parents, for all the sacrifices that they've made for me, for it to be possible for me to be here today. Now, as Brahmacharini Ashriya said, coming into the course, my mindset was, I'm here for answers. People would ask me why I want to join the course. And I said, I have questions. Why do I have questions? Because I questioned. That's why I have questions. So then I was looking for answers. So when I would sit in class, the focus and the objective was to get answers to those questions. But then in the very first session, Guruji completely just shakes that. Guruji says, we are here not only to learn, but to become, as Ashriya said. So now, okay, my entire objective of the course has been completely shaken on the first class itself. And now I'm like, okay. So that sunk into me, and it took some time to become a conviction. But then ultimately, it became a firm conviction that only learning is not enough. We have to become. And therefore, one day it suddenly clicked that why Gurudev has called this Sandeepany Sadhanalaya and not Shastralaya or Panditalaya is because we have to become. And for that, sadhana is important. Sadhana is required. So this has been my greatest, I would say, learning and takeaway from this first year. And whatever I've tried to do is to achieve this goal of becoming, not only learning. And as Ashriya said, that has changed my mindset completely from where I was here for answers to I'm here to become. And that has given me a holistic vision of life, which is what Vedanta also offers. So I seek the entire Guru Paramparas and Bhagavan Jagdishwar's blessings that may we strive forth not only to learn, but also to become, because learning only is not enough. We have to become. Hari Om, Om Tat Sat, Shri Guru Pyo Namah.
Thank you, Shaunak, for that most grateful message of gratitude. And now I invite Brahmachari Smarap of Chennai to share his learnings and impressions of the first year.
Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Hari Om. My pranams to Pujya Guruji, to Pujya Swami Swaroopananda, to everyone present here and everyone watching online as well. Firstly, I'd like to say one thing about going last here while speaking is I think all my points are covered. So I have now bravely put my paper in my pocket only, because now I have to see how innovative I can be here without covering everything that everyone's already said. But like Shaunak said, I think it's the Guruji effect that all our learning has come together at this point where we're all even thinking similarly and we all have the same things to say. So actually, like all three of them had shared earlier, before coming here, I had also heard a lot about this course, and from many Swamis, many Brahmacharins, about how the experience will be at Sandeepany, how the stay will be at Sandeepany, what the classes are like, and I've even seen how a Vedanta course operates in another place. I even, because the Swamiji who was taking the course was very kind, I even got the opportunity to sit in for a few months for all the classes as well. But really speaking, nothing lives up to actually fully being here and committing to this completely, because like all three of them had said before, we're not here just to collect knowledge, but to apply it to ourselves. Like to use the knowledge and learning as a base to observe our thoughts and our actions and channel them in the right direction, as Swami Swaroopananda had also just mentioned. Which is why Guruji also says that, this is not just some university where you come to just learn what is said in the scriptures and you just gain some degree, another degree, and then you just keep going. So it's not like that. So again, sadhana becomes the most important part of our life here. And I thought I was being, very unique by taking up the point of Gurudev has named this Sadhanalaya and not Shastralaya, but even that Shaunak has covered. So I guess, we're listening intently to whatever is said here by all the Acharyas, and we're grasping whatever we can. And we're trying to apply that to our lives. And like Swami Swaroopananda just said, when you churn the ocean, it's not just the nice things that come out, but you get to observe what exactly is in your mind. You may not even know it's there, but then it starts coming out and you start to see it. And I think that's been my biggest learning in the past year, to try and learn how to apply this knowledge in my own life. And we're here to develop the right kind of sadhana that we can continue for the rest of our lives, so that we can reach that goal that we constantly hear about in the classes, and which is what we're all here for. And Guruji also says again and again that, that Brahman, that Supreme Self, it's not something other than you, but it's not something that manifests in you also. After you've learned 23 Upanishads and 11 chapters of the Gita and 17 Prakarana Granthas, then you are 30% it's not like that. So it is you, and we just have to try and develop the right kind of habits and thought processes to guide us to that goal. And which is what I think we're learning here at the base of it all. And it's only God's grace that we've all been able to come to Sandeepany and to have Guruji as our Acharya. I don't know if you guys have felt this, but in some of the classes when we sit, I feel like, whatever thoughts I'm having, like they're addressed minute to minute exactly as Guruji speaks. It's like he's talking to me personally. I feel that in class. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you can agree with that. And it also happens sometimes that, in the morning we're doing one text and you go back and you start thinking about it. And then you come back in the evening, it's actually a different text and it seems like something different on a thought process. But then that same thought is dealt with. And then you're thinking, he can read my mind. Like he can do that. But before you can ask him that question, he himself says, I've got better things to do. So, I'm sure he does, then to mull around in the muck of our minds. But I know that it's only because of Pujya Guruji's teaching and guidance that we can clear all the unnecessary thoughts in our mind, bring it to a single pointed thought, and reach that goal that we're studying about. And I'd like to thank Pujya Guruji for giving us this opportunity to be here. And all the Acharyas who've been here, who've taught us, Swami Shardanji, Pujya Swami Swaroopananda, Tanmayji, even Swami Vivekananda, they all emphasized most on how important sadhana is. Even though Vivekananda was here just for a day, his talk was also how important sadhana is in our lives and how that's what's going to take us to that goal. And I also want to thank everybody who's helped this course actually happen. The people who've supported financially, the people who are in the ashram, who help Pujya Guruji, who help us be in this environment that helps us develop. And last but not the least, I'd like to thank all our parents for allowing us to be here, for having the faith in us to know that maybe we've made a good decision this time and we've come here to do the right thing. So I pray for the grace of Pujya Gurudev, Shri Jagadishwara and Pujya Guruji, that we might realize this truth in this very life and gain that goal. Hari Om, Om Tat Sat.
Thank you, Brahmachari Smarap, for that most innovative and moving message. And as a special segment of today's program, we have a musical prayer, the Pratna Geetam. This is composed by Pujya Guruji. It is something which Chinmaya Mission members all around the world are very familiar with. It is a favorite of all of us, as it so beautifully encompasses and expresses the ever-loving, ever-protecting, ever-blessing presence of Bhagavan and Pujya Gurudev. I now invite Brahmachari Ritvik from Ahmedabad, Brahmacharni Shatrupa. They will sing it on stage, and Brahmachari Arjun of Rahuri is accompanying on the tabla. Brahmachari Chaitanya is accompanying with the manjira. Over to them.
Tvam hino neta, tvam hino data, yatra tvam nayasi, tatra gacchamaha. Kapi no chinta, kvapi no bhayam, yadashraye tava, vartamahi sada. Rakshatasvam hi, sankate kvapi, shikshakasvam hi, shobhane pati. Dehina shaktim, buddhim tatha bhaktim, darshite marge, chalanaya nityam hi. Yadi vismaramastvam, tvam na vismaranaha. Balakastav he karunakara Prabhu. He Prabhu, he Vibhu, he Guru, he Guru, he Guru.
बोलिए श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की
Jai.
After that very touching and devotional offering, what could be next other than hearing from the Acharya of the 18th Vedanta Course, our most loved and beloved Pujya Guruji Swami Tejomayananda. I request Pujya Guruji to now address all of us. This is Pujya Guruji's fourth course that he is teaching in English, and he has conducted the first course in Hindi in Sandeepany Himalayas in Siddhbari. Presently, the 13th batch is in progress in Siddhbari. So now, over to our dearest and most loved Pujya Guruji.
Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Hari Om. We commenced this Vedanta course on 14th of January last year. So actually the first year completion should be on 14th January. But we are celebrating it today on 5th of February. The reason you know. For some time I have been telling brahmacharinis that the 1 year getting over and second year is more critical than the first. And I did not realize it will be critical in this fashion. That there will be invasion of COVID, its variants. And therefore it got delayed. But I think God's plans are the best. Suppose you are asked, you see, life is such, it is a mixture, sometimes joy, sometimes sorrow, sometimes difficulty, then comfort. Which do you want first? They say, let the difficulties be over, the sorrow be over, and then we study. That's what Bhagavan did. Finished all that, finished now. Today the spring begins, called spring forth. Vasant Panchami. Vasant Panchami. So we are celebrating the completion of our first year on this most beautiful day. And this also is celebrated as Saraswati Puja Day. What better thing can be? So, I invoke God's grace, Pujya Gurudev's blessings, Saraswati Mata's blessings. That's why we started with also Saraswati Vandana. And feeling very happy within. Do you know why? Because there is a statement, Shreyansi Bahu Vignani. When you take up any work, there are obstacles, particularly when you take something noble, how everything will move, how everything will happen. But the very fact we have completed all that is most joyful thing. It was a joy for me to listen to these two brahmacharinis and two brahmacharis. Because when you teach, you also want to know how they are receiving it. How they are receiving it. And what are they feeling. Because I always give importance to, what you feel. Many times I have asked them, are you happy? Because the bottom line is that only. And now when I hear that they are very happy, that makes me happy. And it gives inspiration for continuing the second year. And definitely it will be more and more rewarding. On this particular occasion, as one Manisha earlier mentioned about our dear Tara Swaroopananda, who departed from this world amongst us, but giving us the most beautiful gift. So we pay our respect to her. Because how we live, what we give to this world, that is a really important thing in life. Otherwise it is said, Vayamsi kim na kurvanti chanchva sodra purram. Even the birds also fill up their bellies. And everybody fills up that. But how one lived, what one gave, that's the important thing. So we are here in this Sandeepany. And then the very fact that we are conducting the 18th Vedanta course, what does it show? There are quite a few things that are shown. The first thing that it shows is there are spiritual seekers of spiritual knowledge. Even though the outside world there is so much of glamour, material prosperity, this, that. And the young boys and girls are studying their universities and all that, but they have this. People have told me, they said, so many students have come, and all the young ones, and they have university students. That means what? This knowledge has got a very special attraction. Another thing it shows, all these courses you have conducted because the entire community, people all over the world, they have supported it in every way. That means what? It shows the relevance of this knowledge. Those who directly come and study here is one thing, but all other people who respect this knowledge, they are ready to support. Now just think here, 18th batch is Siddhapadi 13th batch, and we already conducted these courses in other languages also, like Telugu, Malayalam, Tamil also. Not only here, even in South Africa, even in West Indies. This knowledge, most ancient, it is old, yet new, because it is meant for you. This knowledge will never become irrelevant. That's the beauty of this. How much I will say, there is no end to it. Even in the Upanishads and Gita also said that very few people seek this knowledge, even though all want actually, but they don't even know that they want this. So it is a rare privilege to study this knowledge. So I am very happy all students are learning that. Among these brahmacharis, we also see most of the people are from Indian origin. But there is one brahmachari who has come from African country, from Ghana. उसको यहाँ का खाना पसंद आ गया. From Ghana, यहाँ का खाना, food, and this knowledge, everything loved. This is the attraction. So, this is a time only to express all our gratitude to so many, because of whom we are studying here. Now I don't have to say more and more. We heard beautiful message from Swami Swaroopananda. He also studied here. I also studied here. It's the most beautiful point about it. So I now also again invoke grace and blessing of the Lord and Gurudev for the success of the second year, and with that the course also will be over. Many people are watching online. I thank them all very much because they all the time have been with us. Today, on this occasion, I have got a pleasant duty to release a book. This book is very popular. It's a book you call or booklet you call. It's called In Indian Culture, Why Do We? Earlier also I have already released. But the book is becoming more and more popular. Originally written in English by Swamini Vivekananda and Radhika Krishna Kumar. Why do we, simple questions are there in Indian culture. If you want to see Indian culture book, there are many volumes are also there. But very simple thing also sometimes you don't know. Why do we go to temple? Why do we ring bell? Why do we the arati and all that? In Indian languages, it has been translated, quite a few languages. Then other than that, in Nepali language, Italian, French, German, and today, Spanish. Spanish language also is very popular. Some places bilingual, English and Spanish both are going on. So, I congratulate the translator Anjani Kanaya from West Indies, Trinidad. She has translated. And this is Vanilla from our CIRS International School. She coordinated the whole thing, Mr. Vanilla. That is the whole project. And one person always, I must say, I admire always, our Dr. Smita Ben Samani from London. She is always ready to sponsor the publication. Okay? So here is the Spanish translation of the book. In Indian culture, why do we? Okay.
Our dearest Pujya Guruji, thank you just isn't sufficient. We are simply blessed to be guided and taught by you, Param Pujya Guruji. Pujya Gurudev became the Acharya of the first ever Vedanta course, which was conducted here in Sandeepany Sadhanalaya, Pavai, about 59 years ago. 30 students, including our Swamini Gangananda Amma, they were present and they attended. And Amma is here sitting in Sandeepany Sadhanalaya. Together, all of them hoisted a flag with Om written on it amidst the chanting of Vedic hymns, the ringing of the bells, and the blowing of the conch. Pujya Gurudev's message at that time was, look, it is not me who has hoisted this flag. It is all of you who have hoisted it, and now it is up to you to keep the flag flying high. I think that message is apt for all of us today as well. Now, as an apt conclusion to today's program, we will stand as one family to chant the Chinmaya Mission pledge together. Brahmachari Om of Dallas will lead, and we will repeat the poignant and purposeful words that Pujya Gurudev has gifted us to live by. Over to all of them.
We stand as one family.
We stand as one family.
Bound to each other with love and respect.
Bound to each other with love and respect.
We serve as an army.
We serve as an army.
Courageous and disciplined.
Courageous and disciplined.
Ever ready to fight against.
Ever ready to fight against.
All low tendencies and false values.
All low tendencies and false values.
Within and without us.
Within and without us.
We live honestly.
We live honestly.
The noble life of sacrifice and service.
The noble life of sacrifice and service.
Producing more than what we consume.
Producing more than what we consume.
And giving more than what we take.
And giving more than what we take.
We seek the Lord's grace.
We seek the Lord's grace.
To keep us on the path of virtue, courage, and wisdom.
To keep us on the path of virtue, courage, and wisdom.
May thy grace and blessings
May thy grace and blessings
flow through us to the world around us.
flow through us to the world around us.
We believe that the service of our country
We believe that the service of our country
is the service of the Lord of Lords,
is the service of the Lord of Lords,
and devotion to the people
and devotion to the people
is the devotion to the Supreme Self.
is the devotion to the Supreme Self.
We know our responsibilities.
We know our responsibilities.
Give us the ability and courage to fulfill them.
Give us the ability and courage to fulfill them.
Om Tat Sat.
Om Tat Sat.
ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ